Hey guys, okay, in this video we're going to take a look at hooking up the BeatStep up to this drum machine here. So the first thing I've done is I've taken the MIDI output. You get a little dongle with the BeatStep, a converter. I've taken the MIDI output from the BeatStep and I've run that to the MIDI input of the drum brute. So by default the drum channel is set to MIDI channel 10, and most drum machines are it's like an agreed MIDI channel for drum machines, and it usually is MIDI channel 10. It just so happens that the drum brute is set up to MIDI channel 10 as well. So if we come down to our drum button here, this activates the drum channel, and what this allows us to do is use each one of these pads as kind of a surrogate pad for the drum machine. So this allows me to control the drum brute from the BeatStep. And above the pads we have step buttons. And what these represent is each step in a sequence. Now at the moment, if I hold down Shift, it allows me to set the time divisions of these pads here. So I can set these to represent an eighth note, a quarter note, and it tells you in these little legends underneath. Quarter note, eighth note, 16th or 32nd. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to keep it as 16th notes because there's 16 pads. It'll make it a little bit easier to understand. So coming back to our pads here, I'm going to choose the kick drum. I'm going to use these step buttons to enter some note data in. So I'm going to use see the little underlines there? Makes it easier for you. 1, 5, 9 and 13, our standard kick pattern. And then I'm going to hit play. So our BeatStep is now sequencing our drum brute. And one of the benefits of using a hardware setup like this, apart from looking really cool, is that you've got instant access to all of the controls straight away. So I can dial in. I can start dialing in my kick whilst the sequence is running. So we can use this method of input. Each time I change the drum, the note data here is only applicable to that drum that's selected. So if I come back to the kick, you can see the notes that I put in. So let's try and find a clap. So that's this clap here. So again, I can just reach over and dial in the sound that I want. So if we play the kick, another method of inputting note data would be to hit the record button. And that's recorded it. Because it's a step sequencer, it's always very quantized. Now, this clap in itself is very much on the grid, and sometimes that's not what we want. So if we look at these little buttons or these little LED indicators next to our drum channel, the knobs, each one of these knobs is attached to each of the step buttons. So step 1, the knob here, knob 1, controls parameters for step 1. Knob 2 controls parameters for step 2, etc. And the parameters that can be controlled are shift, which is a timing shift of the claps, the velocity amounts or the volumes that would usually be assigned to, or gate, so that would be note length. So let's have a look at changing some of the timing of these claps. So I've got the shift LED indicated. So now my first clap is on step 5. So you can hear the clap on step 5 is slightly shifted back. Let's do the same for 13. So I'm slightly exaggerating how much I would do this for the video, but you can see how you can change the timing. And we might want to have the first clap slightly quieter than the second one. So if we come down to velocity, okay, so what I've done, you can see, by the way, these knobs are touch sensitive. So each time I touch one of them, it will show me the value over here of what that knob is set to. So at the moment, the velocity for step 5 is set to 105. Usually MIDI velocities are set between 0 and 127 because you've got 128 values in MIDI data. And then step 13 is set to 119. So you can hear that the first clap is slightly quieter than the second one. Okay, what we need to do next is probably find the hi-hat. So I found the hi-hat here. And then what I'm going to do is just do that. Nearly worked. These buttons are rubberized, so that doesn't always work. So let's see what that sounds like. And again, I can come over here and tweak the hat while we're going. So the hat's nice, a little bit loud maybe, but it's also very static and rigid. So what we can do is we can come over here and use the swing parameter. Now we can either swing all of the drum tracks together or just the current track. So let's choose current track. Too much. I'm going to change the kick actually. Okay, I'm not really liking this second clap, so I'm going to turn it down a bit. Maybe turn the whole clap down over here. Okay, I think we're set. So that's just a brief example of what we can do with the drum channel. Now what we can also do, you can add in randomness and the probability for randomness into the sequencer itself as well. It's not quite so useful for drums as I've got them set here. And this is something we're going to look at when we set up a couple of sequencer channels. So I hope you found this video useful, and I'll see you in the next one where we look at the sequencer channels.
Thanks everybody for watching, commenting and indeed liking. We really do appreciate all the support we get here on our Sonic Academy YouTube channel. So if you found this video super useful, please, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button. We update the YouTube channel every week with new content. And if you want to watch some more relevant content, just click on the videos beside me.